Hello, hello everyone. This is Juank Tamayo, JCT for Education for you. And today we have Guillermo Machado. Guillermo, ¿cómo estás? Hola.
Hello, nice to see you. Thanks for having me, Juanca. It's a pleasure.
Guillermo, where are you right now?
I am in Tenerife, in the Canary Islands off the coast of Morocco.
Awesome. So for people that are wondering, what is Tenerife doing right now with Boca Raton, Florida? What are we leading? Guillermo, we're going to El Camino de Santiago.
Yeah, I am really excited. Yeah, I can't wait. It's got a lot of treasures there to be explored.
Okay, so just to put things into context, first of all, thank you so much for coming into El Camino de Santiago. You have a large trajectory teaching mathematics at international schools, and you can always correct me if I'm wrong. But you have worked overseas for 20 years,
Uh,
multiple international schools. So when we put this program together to visit, first of all, university in Spain from June 22nd to July 3rd, we said we shouldn't finish just with the university component, but we should do El Camino de Santiago, which I done it twice. I did the short version, the French version, around 150 kilometers, and recently I did El Camino Primitivo, which is around 320, 340 kilometers. And this is where the idea came out actually of doing university visits in Spain. Spain is hot. Yes, it is hot during the summer, but probably not very hot during El Camino. And we will talk about weather, climate, topography, and things like that later on. But universities in Spain are attracting more and more international students. But then I said, walking El Camino, I had a long time to think about this project. I said, we should bring the students as well to walk El Camino. Guillermo, welcome to JCT for Education.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited. This seems like it's blending a lot of my interests together. So I'm really glad for the opportunity. Thanks for having me on.
So, as a math teacher, here is your first question, Guillermo. Why are you finding this project so interested to you?
I think, even though I'm a math teacher, I do a lot of time with my students outside of the classroom because I've been in traveling schools in the past, and I am really interested in the personal development and the emotional development of students. And I think these sorts of adventures, they get a little bit close to that idea of the rite of passage, which helps the kids to mature. And for me, it's a great way to connect with the kids beyond the academics. And so Camino de Santiago is a perfect setting for this kind of growth for the kids.
I know you live in Tenerife and you grew up with the Camino de Santiago. This is an incredible millennial set of trails that all goes to Santiago de Compostela. How well known is El Camino de Santiago in your region, and do people actually do the pilgrimage?
I would say it's quite well known because it's a little bit further away than a lot of locals here in the Canary Islands. They don't always have the same opportunity that people in the mainland to go up and do it. But I have met quite a few people who have done it, and for all of them, they have always great stories, and they come back, they feel transformed and with a richer perspective on things.
Okay, Guillermo or Guille, if I might ask, call you because I think you have a fascinating story. When we were talking, and I want to say thank you to Oliver Rodriguez Pearson at the Lemon Tree. He connected the two of us, and he said to me, "I have an excellent, outstanding team leader that could be with the students." You did El Camino de Santiago on bicycle with a couple of students. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, we left from Roncesvalles on the border with France, and it was about 800 kilometers. We did it in
Wow,
2 weeks.
wow.
And the students initially were finding it quite tricky because there was a lot of inclination, and they were not necessarily used to cycling, with heavy bags behind them. And some of the terrain was challenging, but I would say the difference in their attitude and their strength and their resilience by comparing the beginning with the end was really noticeable. And now when we look back and we talk about it, we're always laughing about all the stories that happened. And I think they're looking forward to doing it again soon.
Well, hopefully they can join us. We're going to El Camino de Santiago to the parents watching July 3rd through July 10th. Guillermo, could you please walk us through the steps, the little towns that we're going forward, moving forward until we reach Santiago de Compostela?
Uh-huh. So we leave from Sarria. This is it's going to last about a week, the trip. And from the first day, the journey is from Sarria to Puertomarín. That is mostly forests, villages,
Wow.
medieval bridges. We cross the Miño River, a beautiful river, and we arrive at Puertomarín where there's a really gorgeous fortified church. So that's the first day.
Okay.
The second day, we go from Puertomarín to Palas de Rey, and that is oak woods, the Ula River. There's some Roman remains along the way, um, and also some rural villages. So that's also a gorgeous day. The third day, we go from Palas de Rey to Melide,
Okay.
and that is more rolling path. We cross over into the Coruña province, and there's a great octopus for those people who like octopus around that region. It's a very good cuisine.
In Melide?
Aha,
Okay.
Coruña, yeah. Then from Melide to Arzúa, it's a shorter day. That's also forests, meadows, and it's known for its excellent denominación de origen cheese in Arzúa.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Then from Arzúa, we go to Pedrouzo, which is eucalyptus woods, rural trails. There's a really calm and peaceful atmosphere on that day, great for reflection. And then from Pedroso to Santiago is the very last stretch. We go through Monte de Gozo. We have a first glimpse of the cathedral in the distance. We have that excitement of arriving in Santiago, and we can have those last moments of reflection and getting together with the team and looking back at what we've done and that sense of accomplishment. It's a very special day.
Good. Guillermo, thank you for walking us through El Camino. I can't wait to go back. I remember very well all the stages that you just mentioned. My favorites were when I saw a forest, just going into those trails, and that's where the imagination goes. And I was able to walk a few times with university students, with high school students. We share stories. Some of them they were running. They were saying who will finish first every day. This is not about race. This is not about fitness level. I have been getting a lot of questions. Do I have to be very fit in order for students to get the Compostela? How many kilometers do we have to walk before we get to Santiago?
It's a little bit over 100. I forget
Okay,
exactly, but in order to get the certificate of arrival, it's a little bit over 100 and less than 115, in between 100 and 115.
okay. You are a math teacher. Let me see if and also physics. You're very good with physics. Let me ask you, on average, when we are in a high school setting, walking around the house, walking around the neighborhood, how many kilometers do you think that we, as humans, we put per day on average?
Hmm. I think it depends a lot where you live. If you live in a
Uh-huh.
city where you're taking a lot of underground and you're walking around and catching buses, then you walk quite a lot more, assuming that you walk about 1 hour in any given day. Most people walk
Okay.
more. If you walk about one hour, you'd be walking between 5 to 7 kilometers
Okay.
uh, a normal day.
Okay, so this is a question that I get from the students. Do I have to be an incredible walker? My answer is no, you don't have to. And actually, El Camino kind of carries you. The beauty of the forest, actually seeing all these churches from the medieval time, when we embed culture and the talks, and we will talk about the three exercises, the options that the students will have throughout the Camino. So for the students, don't worry. You don't have to have that high fitness level. El Camino will carry you. and somebody say, "Oh, you will carry them." That too. We will make sure that we get from point A to point B, C, D, and so on. But I think it's going to be a great adventure. The students will learn a lot. Let's focus on your methodology. What are we doing during El Camino? The students, they have three options. Go ahead.
Uh-huh. Just before we jump onto that, one small comment that I want to piggyback on what you were saying and reinforce it is that you see people on the Camino that are really unfit, or you see a lot of people who have a lot of difficulties, people who have, people helping them, people who are very old and they might have asthma and they go very slowly. You see people with all kinds of difficulties and they all make it. So like you said, really takes you there, and you see a lot of inspiring people along the way. So that
Yes.
also is really motivating.
Thank you for pointing that out. The question will be, how many hours will us be walking? Depends. It could be some people 3 hours, some others 5 hours, as long as there are 6 hours. Could be throughout the day. Remember, parents, we have chaperones, and this is a very safe area. El Camino is very super safe, and I'm not concerned about that. And the students will make it. Actually, also on a self-reflection point, a lot of students, this is going to be helpful material when writing their college essays. They're going to get a lot of inspiration if they have an extracurricular idea they want to put at the school, for many reasons. This is a wellness mindfulness program. So let's go to those three options that you will have for the students.
So I was thinking carefully about what could be really enriching for them, and I made a combination of some of the things that I've done with my old students, and then I added some new ideas, and I came up with these three sort of different narratives that they can choose from.
Okay.
And maybe that they start with one and they choose to switch to another. There's a flexibility there, of course. The main three, the main names for each one is the first one is called The Hero's Journey, which is based on the work by Joseph Campbell and his analysis of like the journey of a hero in all kinds of stories and mythologies all over the world. And he took the main common aspects and he put them into a framework. So in that path, we would be asking things like, why am I here? What drew me to this adventure? What new challenge or change am I stepping into? Who's helping me on this journey? What small challenges am I facing? What has been the hardest so far? What am I preparing for ahead? What am I proud of that I've done? What have I gained? What have I learned? Those kinds of questions are part of the process that the hero has to go through in order to come back home with that added level of strength.
Okay.
Uh, that's the hero's journey. The second option for them is called self-governance. And this is particularly helpful for the students who want to improve in their autonomy when they go to university. Sometimes it's hard for a student that's been living at home for so long to suddenly have all of that freedom when they go to university. This really helps. The questions there are more like what personal boundaries are going to help me to maintain my energy? What pace is realistic for me today? Where am I taking my main decisions? How am I taking responsibility for my mood and my emotions and my needs? What capacities have I strengthened? How am I being more autonomous now than when I started the trip and things like that? So those are questions that at university they would help.
Awesome. Number three.
And then number three has to do with tranquility and with managing their sense of peace and calm in the light of challenge, right? And this is something also with the stress at university that is very important. When students want to be able to focus and study, it can get really overwhelming. So, how am I allowing myself to be in stillness and calm as I'm moving? How does nature invite me to understand the rhythms and to understand my own internal processes? Am I rushing or am I really taking the time to enjoy each step? Am I being distracted by my technology? Can I let go of the need to arrive and enjoy each step? And how has my relationship with my inner peace and my inner presence, how has that become deeper over the course of the week?
Oh, that's incredible. Thank you for pointing that out. I think students, this is great material. Parents, this is wonderful a program that we're designing, and actually I was taking some notes while you were talking. You inspired me. Parents, students, we didn't rehearse for this. Actually, we're matching. We didn't even talk about the color of the shirts that we're gonna use today. And actually, you will see this. This came. I designed this icon when I was walking El Camino de Santiago. All the backpacks, all the gear has this logo, and we will ask the students to create content that they will take back home. But they will be willing. One of the questions is they can choose any of the three, correct?
Uh-huh.
Okay, already. For parents asking questions, the students, we have a team of chaperones. We're working this out with Viajes El Camino. They're doing an excellent job helping us out with all the logistics. We're staying in beautiful places in each of the cities that Guillermo mentioned. Just to go over, we're going to Sarria, Puertomarín, Palas del Rey, Melide, Arzúa, Pedrouzo, and Santiago. So in every place we have excellent accommodation. Remember, all the meals are included. Actually, one of the things that I experienced during El Camino, I didn't eat too much or a lot. Actually, my body was submerged into El Camino de Santiago. So we're working with teenagers. I know they will be super hungry. We are gonna make sure that you have plenty of water. You don't have to carry your heavy backpacks as you have seen it from other places. Actually, we have colleagues, they're doing the portage portion from city to city, and you will be actually carrying a small backpack with some fruits, your notes, your notebook, so you can write some. And something very important, Guillermo, that I haven't mentioned, that the students will have allowed to do community service. And I'm arranging these details with Viajes El Camino. Students will be able to collect 40 hours of community service. So once we get there, we will be assigning tasks in terms of community service. We will get the official letter. So students, you get your letters back to school and you can apply your community service hours. This is 40 hours for El Camino de Santiago and 40 hours for the university visits component. So in total, this summer program, university and Camino de Santiago, is 80 hours. Okay. Guillermo, what else am I missing here in terms of logistics,
Um,
weather,
I would like,
preparation?
well, in terms of the fear that some people sometimes think that it's very much a religious thing, right? And I
Mhm.
wanted to mention that it maybe it used to be that a long time ago, but it's turned into something else, something more universal. I think that the Camino has deep religious history, but today it's really a universal path open to anyone. You can walk it for healing, for adventure, to rediscover aspects of yourself. It offers something unique to each person because every caminante is their own person and they're going to face their own challenges. So it's really the religious aspect is now very much in the background, and it's a historical thing that one can choose to learn about as they go to churches and so on. But it's definitely not only for people who have a religious inclination. So that's important to mention.
Correct. And actually, we will suggest some couple audiobooks for the students, or actually, if you want to read the book or audio as your preference. It is really interesting. I found very fascinating getting those audiobooks for myself. And I was more looking into architecture details when I was walking from town to town. I was paying attention to the symbols. There is a lot of mystery and hidden topics that we will be talking about around El Camino de Santiago. So I promise every time that we do a live that it will be a short version, and I think we're almost on the limit. But I want to welcome students. This is gonna be a trip of your life. We have done trips all over the world. And again, I will bring Oliver. We're celebrating our 11th year anniversary doing summer programs around the world. We did our iconic trip to Fiji thanks to Oliver and the people of Rustic Pathways. They help us a lot with this project. But I'm also very enthusiastic about El Camino de Santiago, and I can't wait to be there. I can't wait to share the findings, the beauty of Galicia. It's absolutely gorgeous. Any last comments here, Guillermo?
I would just say that it's very difficult. This has been a challenging thing to do because if you ask anyone who's done the Camino how it was, they will often not know quite how to put it into words. And so I would say that to have the trust in that the students are going to find something really special there, and I couldn't recommend it more, and I can't wait to be there.
Uh, what did El Camino did to you on a 800 plus kilometer journey by bicycle? Anything that you will say a learning from El Camino?
I think once we got to Santiago and I look back, I realized that what seemed impossible became possible, and what seemed like it was going to be very difficult to enjoy in some parts because there were some challenging parts suddenly became actually the most enjoyable parts. So you surprise yourself continuously. It was a small metaphor for the whole of life, I think, when you do it as like a small, like little mini version of a lot of the journeys that we take. And there's so much you can take with you afterwards. So for me, it's just been something I look back on. It reminds me of my strength. It reminds me of the mystery of life and that there is a lot going on around us that we can always tap into, and that we should always be listening for lessons because there's lessons everywhere.
Absolutely. Guillermo, for me, it was when talent met inspiration.
Mm.
And a lot of my projects have been developed walking El Camino de Santiago. Uh, when you're walking through that town, the mist, the forest, then you say, oh my gosh, I have an idea. And this idea came out of El Camino de Santiago. So I'm super excited. I can't wait to see you in less than 2 months. I will see you in Spain. I am very excited. I'm very thankful. Once again, thank you to our dear friend Oliver for putting us together. And I can't wait to see you walking El Camino with us. And I will be thinking what of the three topics I will be choosing from the assignment that you're gonna give all of us. Thank you so much.
Excellent. I'm trying to decide which one as well.
It is really, really cool. Thank you, Guillermo. Parents, you can find all of this information on Instagram, on our website. And if you have questions, just send it our way. We will be more than happy to talk to you. Again, this is Guillermo Machado, Juank Tamayo, JCT for Education for you. See you soon. Ciao, adios, buen camino,
Al camino.
buen camino.